Moving on to KC6C. So target B, we found the three transformations that we are going to be focusing on. So translation, rotation, and reflection. Okay, so target C is going to determine necessary conditions to demonstrate two triangles that are congruent. So we're going to have to find the statement. How do you find the statement? Well, you have to match the pre-image with the image. Okay, so we're going to start right away with question number 1. It says complete the triangle congruent statement. Sorry. If not possible, please select not possible. Okay. So again, question 1A says that triangle WZY is reflected about the YZ line. Okay. And again, you can see that it's being reflected by using this line in the middle. Okay. So this line is the one that's being used to reflect, again, triangle WZY. So we're talking about this triangle right here. Okay, it's being reflected with that line in the middle. So we're actually using YZ for both triangles. Okay, so in order for you to tell me that two triangles are congruent, we have to give it the name of it. Again, they told you the name of the first triangle, WCY. Okay, in order for you to write the same name for the next for the second image, you have to follow the order. That's the most important thing here. Follow the order. Okay, the order, it starts with W, then goes to Z, then goes to Y. So W, Z, and then goes to Y. That's how they named it, which is the same way you're going to have to do it for the next triangle. Again, when you're reflecting, you notice that if you reflect the triangle with W, the W is going to be over here. So that's what it's reflecting. The W is the only thing that's changing, since Y and Z is part of the line that we're using to reflect. It stays on there. So this is actually going to be W, okay? But obviously we cannot call it W. We name it another letter, which is X. All right, to prove that this triangle is congruent to the next one, again, it's going to be triangle. You have to follow the order. It started with W, so I'm going to start with W, which is for this one, X. Let me change my color here to make it easier. Okay. Obviously, this is not W, it's X. It starts with W, and then it goes to the middle, which is Z, because that's what it did. It went to the middle, and then you go up to the Y. Okay, so you're following that order. So X, Z, Y. Okay, you cannot tell me that the triangle WZY is the same thing as triangle YZX. Okay, because look at the order that's going to go. If you start with Y, it's going to go down, Z, and then to the right X. That is not the same order that they gave you for the beginning, the pre-image. So WZY, that's exactly the same order you have to follow for the next one. So here's the main thing, you have to follow the order. That's the main thing with this. If you don't follow the order, you just give me the letters, it's wrong. Okay, next, let's try the next one. L and P. L, N goes up to N, then down to P. See, we have to follow the same order. Again, we're being reflected using the NP line. That means that this L is actually going to be right here. Obviously, it's not called L anymore, it's called M. So it has to follow the same order. Remember, it starts with L, so that means I'm going to start off with M. And it went up to N, so I have to go up to N, and it goes down to P. So then there you go. My answer for this is that triangle MNP is the same as triangle LNP. Again, you cannot tell me that the order for this is P, N, and M. Yes, it has the same letters, but the order is different. Okay, look at this. You're saying that starts at P, then it goes up with N, then it goes down to M. This is wrong. This is not the same order that they started from with in green. Okay, so the order matters. All right, question number 2. It says the blue triangle is rotated about point O. Complete the triangle congruent statement. Again, we have to match the side, the points with the other points on the second image. Alright, for this one it's saying rotated, and if you don't see this, but it's saying it being rotating 90 degrees. If you don't understand what 90 degrees looks like, that is a L shape. Okay, so just give me a second. Alright, so how do you figure out? Again, some of you guys are going to notice right away which points belong with which points, but some of you guys are not. So let me explain how to figure out the points that belong with which point. Z, again, is a point that it's a blue image, so it's the first image, and then the second image is the one in red. And it's being rotating using this point in the middle right here. Well, we're going to connect Z with that point. And again, we have three different points on the red. We have M, we have L, and we have N. Out of these three, which one makes an L shape, a straight L shape? Okay, let me go again. If I go with L, this is more than 90 degrees, so this is not going to be L. L is not going to be Z. If I go to N, as you can see, it's not even 90 degrees because this line right here should have been right here to be a 90-degree angle. But it's not. It's more than 90, so that is not my Z. Okay, here I go with M. If you notice M makes a 90-degree angle. So that means that Z is going to be right here for M. If this is Z, I know that L has to be the Y. And again, how do I know? Look at the point again. I'm connecting the line to the point. And look at that. It makes a 90 perfect degree angle. So that's your Y. And lastly, you know that this has to be X. Once you figure out the which letter belongs to the new letters, then you can read the statement. The statement says that you go from triangle X, Y, Z. So X, Y, Z. Okay, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third. That means that instead of using X, Y, Z, now we're using the new letters, which is N, L, and M. So my answer for this is triangle N, because that's where it starts, then goes to L, then it goes to M. So my triangle N, L, M is the same as triangle X, Y, Z. Okay, we're doing the same thing with question number 2B. And again, some of you guys are going to notice right away, you should have noticed that this right here is going to be E, this is going to be F, and this is going to be D. Now read the statement. Triangle DEF. D goes first, then E, then F. That means I'm going to have J, H, and G. J, H, and G. And that's my answer. Alright, moving on to question number 3, which is the beginning introduction to triangles. Okay, in order for us to solve the following questions, we need to understand some few things about triangles. I don't know if you guys remember talking about this or if you guys even learn about this, but any triangle, any triangle has 3 angles. And those 3 angles have to equal 180. Okay, the sign for angles I'm going to be using looks like this. That's the symbol for angles. So that means that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180. You are always going to be adding the angles. They always have to equal 180 no matter what. Okay. All right. You also know that all triangles have different sides. Okay. They all have different sides, but there's a specific triangle that doesn't. And that is called an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle, okay, has 2 sides that are the same. And because we have two sides that are the same, we have two angles that are the same. Okay. And again, two angles are the same. The other angle is still part of the triangle, but we know that it has to equal 180. Okay. So it doesn't matter what kind of triangle you have. They're equal 180, no matter what. Okay. So for isosceles triangles, just remember that those two angles are the same. All right, we're going to practice already. It says 3a, determine the value of x that will maintain congruence of the triangle. So we need to find x. Okay, the first two triangles belong to question 3a. The next ones are for 3b. Okay, so again, they told you that these two are congruent, which means that these two triangles are the same. Okay. And as you can see, they both are isosceles. And how do I know that? Because they have the little dashes on the sides, which means that they have the same size. So for example, if I have 14 here, I know that this is going to be 14. Because this triangle, I'm going to call this triangle A and triangle B. Because triangle A is congruent to triangle B, that means that this is also 14 for both sides. Okay. What else do we know about isosceles triangles? That if they have the two sides equal to each other, they also have the two angles equal to each other. Oops. Let me change the color here. Okay. So this angle and this angle have to be both 41. But remember, triangle A is the same thing as triangle B. So that means that the angles for triangle B right here on the bottom is going to be 41. The angle, the top angle they give it to you is 3x plus 2. Okay, remember we're trying to find a variable. How much is x? Well, in order to find out how much is x, we need to set the equation. Okay, the equation again is three angles added together to make 180. Okay, so I have 41 plus 41 plus 3x plus 2 equals 180. Okay, I have angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. Three angles that equal 180. After that, all you have to do is combine like terms. Okay, we are solving for the equations which we learned in KC2. Okay, you combine, oops. You're going to have to combine 41 with 41 and 2. Not 3x because 3 has the x. They're not like terms. So 41 plus 41 gives me 82 plus 2 gives me 84. So now I have 84 plus 3x equals 180. To solve for x, remember we have to subtract 84 from both sides. Okay, so then 180 minus 84 is going to give me 96. To get x by itself, you need to divide by 3, so x is going to be 32. And that's it. We solve for x and we're done. Okay, you do the same thing for question number 3. You should have been doing, you should stop the video, try question B by yourself. Okay, once you solve for x, should be, oops, what's going on with my laptop today? X equals 55. Okay, so try it, make sure you get the right answer. All right, and the last problem, 4 and 5. Okay, kind of tricky. Okay, because we're getting used to solving for a variable, but this is where the question, when people don't read the question right. Okay, it says given that given that line AC and line DF are corresponding sides of a figure, find the length of the given sides that will maintain the congruence of the figures when line AC equals 11A plus 9 and line DF equals 9A plus 27. Your question is find the length. Okay, so that's the question. And that's the question that we all get confused. The length for line AC is given to you. It's 11A plus 9, and the length for DF is given to you, 9A plus 27. Okay, so again, you never see anyone talking about the length with variables. You never say, oh, the length of the table is 11A plus 9. No, right? We have a number. How do you find that number? Well, since we do have a variable, that means that we need to figure out how much is A. Well, how much is going to be A? Well, we need to set up an equation. Every time you're setting up an equation is to find the variable, right? So, again, they told you that they're congruent. So that means that the line AC is the same as line DF, which means that we have 11A plus 9 equals 9A plus 27. Okay? Which means that we know how to do this already. Again, you have two terms in one side, two terms in the other side, which means you can start wherever you want. You can get rid of 27, you can get rid of 9, 9A, 11A, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get rid of 9 first. So I'm going to get rid of 9 by subtracting 9 to both sides. So 11A equals 9A plus 18. And then you subtract 9A from both sides. So then you have 2A equals 18. 2A by itself, you divide by 2. So A equals 9. All right. A equals 9. And this is where students get confused because they did not ask you what is A. Some of you guys are going to tell me that the answer is 9. The answer is not 9. Sorry to let me bust your bubble here, but your answer is not 9. You still have to do more work. They told you to find the length. To find the length, again, we were trying to find 8, and that was the purpose of finding 8. It's not because it was asking you to find 8. What we have to do now is go back to our lines AC, which is 11A plus 9, and back to our line DF equals 9A plus 27, and all we're going to do is plug in the 9. So right here, we're going to have 11 times 9 plus 9. And then right here, we're going to have 9 times 9 plus 27. Okay, 11 times 9 gives me 99, plus 9 gives me 108. For the next one, 9 times 9 gives me 81, plus 27 gives me 108. This is the length. The length is 108. Oops. Alright, so that's how you figure this one out. Okay, so my answer for this is actually going to be 108. Not 9, so be careful. If for whatever reason you see that your lines are not matching, so let's say that if I actually had DF and I got a different answer, what if I had 96, right? Then that means that your answer for A is wrong. So you have to go back and fix your math in trying to solve for the variable. But if both of them are correct, then you got it right, and then the length is 108, and that's it. Okay, make sure you do question number 5, try it, send me a picture. I can definitely check the answer for you. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask.